Pilot blocks Melania Trump from boarding her jet, but what he's hiding leaves everyone speechless. Picture this. A sleek, private jet is waiting on the runway, gleaming under the bright afternoon sun. Security personnel, airport staff, and a small group of reporters stand at a distance, watching as Melania Trump steps out of her luxury SUV. Her team is moving quickly, making sure everything is in place for her departure. It's supposed to be a routine flight, another day in the life of the former First Lady. But what happens next is anything but ordinary. As Melania approaches the stairs leading to the jet, something unusual catches her attention. Standing at the bottom of the steps is the pilot, a tall, serious-looking man with a sharp uniform. His face is unreadable, his posture firm. Melania doesn't think much of it at first. After all, it's normal for the pilot to greet his passengers. But when she reaches the stairs, he doesn't step aside. Instead, he blocks her path, his hand subtly raised as if to stop her from going any further. There's an awkward pause, the kind that makes everyone standing nearby suddenly feel the tension. Melania glances at him, her eyebrows raised in surprise. Her security team, always on high alert, immediately steps forward, ready to intervene. The air is thick with anticipation. Something is definitely off. The pilot, however, remains calm, his hand still raised as he says in a firm but respectful voice, "Mrs. Trump, I'm afraid I can't allow you to board the jet." Silence. Everyone is stunned. Why would he be stopping her? It doesn't make any sense. After all, she's the former First Lady of the United States. People in her position don't usually get told no, especially not when it comes to something as routine as boarding a plane. The pilot's unexpected refusal sends shockwaves through the small group, and the sense of confusion quickly turns into curiosity. Melania, with her characteristic grace, doesn't overreact. She looks the pilot straight in the eyes, trying to read his expression. Her body language is calm, but you can sense the shift in the atmosphere. Something is wrong. This isn't about protocol or a simple misunderstanding. The pilot's demeanor is too deliberate, too calculated. He's not nervous. He's not unsure. He knows exactly what he's doing. As the moments drag on, the tension builds. Melania's team is now on edge. Her security detail moves closer, one of them stepping forward to ask the pilot what's going on. Why can't she board? He demands, his voice edged with authority. The pilot doesn't flinch. His eyes flicker for a second, as if he's weighing his words carefully before he responds. "There's something I need to address before Mrs. Trump boards this aircraft." His tone is professional, but there's a strange intensity to it, as if he's hiding something beneath the surface. Now, everyone is holding their breath. What could possibly be happening here? Why is this pilot, of all people, stopping Melania Trump from getting on her own jet? Is there a security threat? A technical issue with the plane? Or is something much bigger going on behind the scenes? The questions swirl in the minds of everyone watching, but the pilot isn't giving away anything yet. Melania, sensing that there's more to this situation than meets the eye, steps back slightly, allowing her team to take charge. But even as she does, there's a look of concern on her face. This is no longer just a simple delay, it's turning into a mystery. What could this pilot possibly be hiding? Before anyone can press him further, the pilot takes a step back himself, glancing around to make sure they're not being overheard. His next words are low, almost a whisper, but they hit like a bombshell. "I can't say more right now, but trust me, Mrs. Trump, you don't want to be on this plane until you know the truth." The group around him is now buzzing with speculation. The pilot's cryptic warning has left everyone speechless. What truth is he talking about? What is it that she doesn't know? The pilot's eyes dart to the plane for a brief moment, as if it holds the answers to all their questions. But for now, he remains tight-lipped, refusing to elaborate further. The situation has taken a turn no one expected, and the weight of the mystery is now pressing down on everyone present. Melania's team looks at each other, unsure of how to proceed. The clock is ticking, and the jet stands there, ready for takeoff, but no one's boarding it now. Everyone is waiting for the next move, for the pilot to reveal what he's hiding. And just when it seems like the tension can't get any higher, the pilot steps forward again, his voice barely above a whisper. It's about the jet. Something happened before you arrived. Something you need to know before you step foot inside. He glances at Melania, and for the first time, there's a flicker of emotion on his face. Concern, maybe even fear. But before he can say anything else, one of Melania's team members interrupts, pushing for answers. What happened? They ask. The pilot's hesitation is brief, but noticeable. He looks over his shoulder, scanning the area as if he's worried someone might be listening. I can't explain here, he says, his voice still low. But it's something you need to hear. Something that could change everything. At that moment, it's clear this isn't just about Melania Trump's flight schedule. It's bigger than that. Whatever the pilot is hiding, it's serious. The kind of secret that could leave everyone speechless, just as he warned. But what could it be? And more importantly, what will happen next? As the tension grows thicker, Melania Trump stands silently, her mind racing with questions. The pilot's cryptic warning has cast a shadow over what should have been a straightforward flight. Her security team remains on high alert, exchanging glances, waiting for some kind of signal or explanation. But nothing comes, just more silence. The pilot, still standing his ground, seems to be holding onto a secret that none of them are prepared for. While Melania's poised exterior doesn't falter, there's a growing unease within her. She's no stranger to being in the spotlight or to moments of unpredictability. But this is different. It's not just a delay or a minor hiccup in her schedule. It feels personal. The pilot's insistence on her not boarding the plane has triggered something in the back of her mind. Could this be a security threat? A plot against her safety? Or, as his last words hinted, could it be something about the jet itself? Her security team, led by an experienced chief who has been by her side through countless public and private events, steps in closer to the pilot, trying to extract more information. If there's a threat, we need to know immediately, the chief says, his voice steady but laced with authority. He's seen situations like this before, moments where something unplanned throws everything into chaos. But the pilot's strange behavior is unsettling him more than usual. The pilot looks around again, still on edge, as if expecting someone else to intervene. But there's no one. It's not exactly a threat, he says carefully, choosing his words as though every syllable could tip the balance of the situation. But something happened before you got here. I need to tell you what I know, but not here, not like this. As the others continue to press him, Melania steps forward. She's known for her calm demeanor, and in this moment, it's clear she's taking charge. Tell me, she says, her voice low but firm, what happened on the plane? For a brief moment, the pilot locks eyes with her, and it's as if the weight of what he knows is too much for him to bear. There's a hesitation, a flicker of doubt. And then, finally, he begins to explain. Before you arrived, the plane went through its usual checks. Everything seemed normal. But then something strange happened with the crew. The word strange sends a ripple through the group. The crew? What could have happened with them? The pilot continues, one of the attendants. Well, she said something that didn't make sense. She claimed that someone else had been on the plane earlier, someone who wasn't supposed to be there. Melania's security chief frowns. Who? That's the thing, the pilot replies, his voice dropping to a whisper. No one saw them. But the attendant was adamant. She said she heard voices, saw shadows, and felt a presence, like someone had been inside the jet. The security team immediately springs into action, checking every angle, trying to piece together whether this is a real threat or a case of nerves. But the pilot isn't finished. She wasn't the only one, he says. Another crew member reported the same thing, voices, strange noises, and the feeling that something was off. They said it felt like someone had tampered with the plane, but there was no sign of forced entry, no technical issues, nothing. Now the plot is thickening. The idea that someone might have gained access to the jet without leaving a trace sends shivers down Melania's spine. She's been in high-stakes situations before. But there's something about the unknown, about the fact that this is happening without a clear answer, that makes it all the more unsettling. Who could have been on the plane? What were they doing there? The security chief radios an additional backup. ordering a full sweep of the jet. If someone was inside, we need to find out how they got in and why, he says, his tone serious. And until we do, Mrs. Trump isn't boarding this plane. As the crew begins their search, a strange stillness falls over the scene. Melania watches as her team moves methodically, checking every inch of the aircraft for any signs of tampering. But there's nothing obvious. No doors left ajar, no equipment out of place. It's as if whoever, or whatever, had been on the plane had vanished without a trace. The pilot remains nearby, uneasy but cooperative. He's clearly troubled by what he knows, but there's still something he hasn't revealed. Melania notices it in his body language, the way he fidgets, the way he keeps looking over his shoulder. She approaches him again, this time more directly. "There's something else, isn't there?" she asks, her voice steady but probing. The pilot hesitates again, his face tightening with the burden of whatever he's about to say. "Yes," he admits, his voice barely audible. "It's not just about the plane. There's more." The tension reaches a boiling point. Everyone is hanging on the edge of his next words. "Before we came here," he continues, "I received an anonymous message. A warning. It said not to let you board this jet, no matter what." For the first time, the security chief's expression shifts from concern to outright alarm. An anonymous message? A warning not to let Melania board. This isn't just about mysterious sounds or shadows anymore. This is deliberate. This is planned. The pilot reaches into his pocket and pulls out his phone, showing the security chief the message. It's short, just a few words, but its meaning is clear. If she boards, something will happen. Don't let her fly. Melania's heart races. Who would send such a message? And why? The possibilities run wild in her mind, but there's no clear answer. The mystery surrounding the jet has now escalated into something far more dangerous. The security team is working overtime, running checks, contacting authorities, and trying to figure out who could be behind this. But time is running out. Every second they stand there, more questions pile up without answers. As the investigation deepens, the stakes couldn't be higher. The anonymous warning, the strange occurrences on the jet, and the uncertainty of what's really going on all converge, leaving everyone on edge. What's the truth behind the warning? Who could be orchestrating this, and why is Melania Trump at the center of it all? And as the clock ticks, the question that looms largest of all: will they find the answer in time? The tension has reached its peak. As the security team scrambles to uncover who sent the anonymous message and why they would target Melania Trump, the jet looms in the background, now more like a symbol of danger than a means of escape. Every second that passes feels heavier, and the possibility that something sinister is at play becomes more real. The security chief looks over the message again, his face serious. "We need to track where this came from," he orders his team, who quickly move to trace the number. The pilot stands by, uneasy but determined to help. He seems to understand the gravity of the situation, but even he doesn't have all the answers. All they know is that whoever sent the message had specific knowledge about Melania's schedule, the jet, and something they don't yet understand. As the investigation unfolds, a shocking revelation comes to light. One of the security team members returns from the jet with a strange discovery. Tucked away in a compartment beneath one of the passenger seats, they find a small, hidden device, something that doesn't belong. It's not explosive, but it's wired with electronics, like a surveillance or tracking device. The find raises even more questions. Who put it there, and what were they trying to track or monitor? Could this have been the reason behind the cryptic warning? The security chief is on high alert now. "This changes everything," he says, pacing as he tries to connect the dots. "Someone placed this device here for a reason, and they wanted us to know about it. But why warn us unless they had something else planned?" The pilot, who's been listening closely, steps forward, his face pale. "There's something I didn't mention," he admits, his voice shaky now. "Before the anonymous message, I got a call from someone claiming to be an official. They didn't give their name, but they said the flight schedule had been compromised and that Melania was in danger. I thought it was a prank at first, but now, I'm not so sure." Melania listens carefully, her calm exterior still intact, but the weight of the situation is clear. She's at the center of something much larger than she imagined, and the discovery of the hidden device only deepens the mystery. What was supposed to be a routine flight has turned into a high-stakes scenario where her safety and the motives of those around her are all in question. The security team works fast, checking every corner of the jet and securing the area. In the midst of it all, the phone finally buzzes with the trace results from the anonymous message. The team freezes as they read the location. Surprisingly, it came from within the airport itself. This twist sends everyone reeling. Whoever sent the message is close by, possibly watching their every move. The stakes have just been raised. The team mobilizes, searching the airport for any suspicious individuals, while Melania is escorted to a more secure location, away from the jet. As they search, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. One of the airport staff, a ground crew worker, is caught on security footage acting strangely near the jet earlier that day. He's seen loitering around the plane, but when questioned, he disappears from view. Suddenly, everything makes sense. The hidden device, the cryptic message, the warnings. It all leads back to this unknown individual, someone who had access to the jet and was likely watching the entire time. The search intensifies, and soon enough, the ground crew worker is apprehended in a nearby terminal, trying to leave the airport. Under questioning, it becomes clear that he was part of a larger plot, one that involved monitoring Melania Trump's movements and possibly sabotaging the flight. His motives are unclear, but his involvement in planting the device and sending the anonymous message is undeniable. As the truth comes out, the pieces of the puzzle finally begin to fit. The warning was meant to prevent Melania from boarding the jet, not out of malice, but as a way to alert her team to the device and the real threat: the sabotage planned by the ground crew member. The anonymous message, though cryptic, had been sent by someone trying to protect her, someone on the inside who realized something was wrong. With the suspect in custody and the mystery unraveled, there's a collective sigh of relief. The jet is cleared, the threat neutralized, and Melania is safe. But as the day comes to a close, there's still a lingering sense of unease. The hidden device, the strange warnings, the unknown person who tried to sabotage the flight. All of it points to a bigger picture, one that remains unsolved. While this particular plot has been foiled, the people behind it are still out there. As Melania watches the sunset from the safety of her car, there's a moment of reflection. This incident was a reminder that even in the most routine moments, there can be hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface. But it was also a testament to the strength of the people around her. The pilot who trusted his instincts, the security team who acted quickly, and the unknown individual who risked everything to send that warning. In the end, the flight didn't happen, but something far more important did. The truth came out, and with it, a renewed sense of vigilance. As Melania Trump drives away from the airport, the story comes to a close, not with a dramatic takeoff, but with the knowledge that sometimes it's the things you can't see that matter the most. The mystery may be over for now, but the lessons learned will stay with everyone involved, reminding them that in a world of uncertainty, it's always better to listen to the warning signs, even if they leave everyone speechless.